Welcome back. First step, bald line. Next, skin line. That's the shavers. Use the heel of the blade. We're going lever open. That's that part right there. Rest that part against their head, and then you're just going to lift. So the teeth is not really in the hair. You don't have to feed the clipper through the hair. Just rest that heel part and kind of lift up. It'll help you not leave such harsh lines to get out. So we go lever open at the top, and then we go back to the bottom. We go lever closed, and then halfway open. This is the one open. This is our second guide. Once it's all the way set, about 3/4 or a full inch, then we're going to close it and go bottom up. We're going to fix this line right here. This is the half guard, halfway closed. This blends the lever open with the one closed. So this is just a bridge to the first two guards that we just did. Okay, close as you go down, open the lever as you go up. And you're just looking for dark spots. Wherever it's dark, you're going to go and try to cut in that dark spot, not necessarily the whole area. Again, you're not making a whole guide with it. I still see some darkness, so again, just try to find the darkness with the half guard, and you're just going to try to make it light. Next is the 1.5 here, open. Same thing, we're going to close it at the bottom, halfway in the middle. If you're new to the page, the older videos go a little bit slower. So I see some darkness here after I did the 1.5 close, so I'm just going to go back to the 1 and try to lighten this area. Again, fading is just light to dark, so wherever it's dark on the lower side of the fade, just go and make it a little bit lighter. It helps with that contrast. All right, now we're going to go clip over comb. This is going to blend the sides to the top, so you just want to find the corner of their hairline. His is right here. And I'm going to pull it down a little bit, and then I'll like comb up and I'll get it in the comb. Once it's in the comb, I pull the comb out so the teeth is away from his hair. I can see the teeth, all the hair that sticks through. Now I cut it. And you just do that again. So you just want to pull the comb out so you can see the teeth almost at a 45-degree angle. So as long as you can see the teeth, you should be okay. So here's kind of the blended look. It's my first time using this tripod, so it's kind of all heap all angles. But line them up, call it good. We're on to the other side. Balder. Now the shaver makes it skin smooth, no stubble. That's what the shaver does. We're going to debulk with a 1.5 because I'm going to fade into a 1.5. If you want to be safe, you can use a number 3 closed, or you can use a number 2 closed so you can kind of see what you're fading into. That helps a lot. So you can debulk. So the left side, so the first side I showed you how I normally fade, but if you're having a hard time seeing the fade, just debulk with a 2 closed or a 3 closed, and then start your fading process, and it'll help you out. We're back to step 1. Again, let the heel of that clipper rest against his head, and then you're kind of just barely pushing up. We're creating our first guide. You can see that bottom stubble line that we're going to go. We're going to close the clipper. We're going to hit that stubble line. Once we get to like halfway, we're going to open our clipper halfway and go in between the two guidelines, the first one that we just made. And then now we're back to the top. So that's the true fading process. You'll see it again here with the one open, a little bit quicker. And going up again the same amount, 3/4 of an inch, maybe an inch. And then close it, go back to the bottom and kind of try to blend that bottom line out. Open it halfway, and you're going to go a little bit higher than where you just were. And then you're going to open it a little bit more and go a little bit higher. And then eventually you'll be back to where you first started when you created your first guideline with a 1 open. And that's kind of how you fade. Okay, now we're going to bring the bridge. I call it the bridge. This is the half guard, and the lever is halfway closed. This blends the lever open with the 1 closed. So now you can kind of see that the fade's coming together. See that dark spot. Now we're back to the 1.5, but because I debulked with 1.5, the fade's pretty much there. So I'm just looking for dark spots. I'm trying to just make it lighter. The bottom, I'm making it a little bit more lighter because this person's hair is not very dense, so the fade is harder to see. So you have to make the bottom portion lighter. Line up, rest your hand, your fingers against their forehead, their cheekbone, and then just tap and pull. just like Happy Gilmore. Tap, 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 tap. Just so my fingers is resting on his cheek, and I'm just barely tapping and pulling. So don't scrape their head. Just trust the Micini to, give them a light lineup. And yeah, that's it. Simple as, eh? The real purpose of these videos coming out now that I'm trying to catch up on is showing you guys how to trim the top. Some of you guys that's been in here, you guys are good at tapering and fading. So again, tapering and fading is all about contrast. The lower towards the ear, you want to make it lighter. As you go higher, you want to keep it a little darker. So I noticed this dark spot in the mirror. If you don't have a mirror, just pull your camera phone out and it'll show you all the blemishes. But I just went in with a 1.5 closed. And you can hear the clipper. You can kind of hear it cut. If you can't hear it cutting, then take the guard off. It's too long of a guard. So I dropped it to a 1. And then now I'm just like barely trying to lighten it. And at whatever point, like you can just be like, fuss it. All right, the top, wet it a little bit. It helps the comb through it a little easier. Yeah, all you want to do is basically try to create like a little mohawk. The thickness can be like 1 inch thick, or the thickness of the comb, or 1.5 inches thick. But you'll see a clip here of a kind of better visual. It's hard because his hair is curling, see it? But if your kids have like straighter hair, it'll be straight. So you can kind of see the little mohawk. So we call it the profile section. So all you're going to do is you're just going to lift up and then cut. Boom. He wants a little bit off. So I'm taking off a little bit. So I cut that. And then now as I work towards his forehead, I'm going to pick the hair up again. And you can see right here, that's the guide that I cut. That's my first cut. So now I'm just going to make the rest of the long hairs match that cut. That's it. And then now once the middle is all cut, as you can see, that middle is now my guide. Now I pick up the right side along with some of the middle hair. And you can see that this long hair right here, we're just going to make it match the middle. And so you just lift straight up. Don't pull back towards you. Just lift straight up in the air. And then all the hair that sticks out, you'll cut it. Because again, you're picking up some of your guide. And the guide is on the far left. And now we're just going to make it match with all of the longer hair. And this is how you trim like the top of whoever you're cutting. Kids, homies, brothers, cousins, uncles. This is how you really trim the top. When it comes to like comb overs and stuff, I can get into that. And then you do the same thing, but for the left side. So that's basically it. I kind of blow dried his hair with the diffuser. Really made it like poofy and curly. He says he doesn't have gel right now, so he's been using like a pomade, which is cool. Medium hold, a little bit of a shine. So I got some in my hands. You just melee it in your hands together, and you just try to wipe it off of your hands into the hair. If you have curly hair like this or wavy and you want to curl, just scrunch, And then if it's like straighter hair, then you can kind of just move it with your hands. But pomade is a little bit lighter, where you can kind of move it consistently throughout the day. It's not like gel. Gel kind of holds it and clumps it together. So if your kid has like wavier hair or longer hair, like a comb over, pomade is better than gel. But that's the cut. That's the taper. Trim off the top. People call it kiwi back in the day. Nowadays, people are calling it a mullet, modern mullet. All right, bro. What do you think about your haircut?
It's alright, I guess.
What do you think about your haircut, man?
I like it. Yep, it's really good.
Let's go.